I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hi there, welcome back to another review. This is another Patreon request from Chase Conley, who wanted me to do a review of The Terminator. First off, I want to say thank you, Chase, for the pledge on my Patreon. For anyone who's ever interested, feel free to check out my Patreon page. If not, no worries, I understand, believe me. I know people mad that I'm doing the Patreon thing and e-baiting, whatever. Figured it'd be something different to try. Why not? And, whatever. It is what it is. But I still thank people who are doing it. I really do appreciate it. Let's see where this takes us. If it doesn't go anywhere, cool. At least I tried. But I did want to thank you to people for doing it. Once again, if you're interested, feel free to check out my Patreon down below. But he wanted my review again of The Terminator, the 1984 classic, which is a very easy film to talk about because it is my favorite Terminator film. I love The Terminator. It's my favorite Terminator film because it's a horror film. I always thought of it as a horror slasher film. I love the dark grittiness of it. I thought James Cameron took a low budget and made a very effective movie. Granted, some of the effects, like when Arnold's character takes the eyeball out as a bit of a stilted movements of the puppetry of Stan Winston, isn't as fluid as you would today, but because it was made in 1984, I didn't give leniency to it. And there's also some really solid effects as well. I like the scenes in the future with the HTA killers, I believe that's what it's called, the ships out there. I liked the look of the future war. I love the look of the endoskeleton, the T-800, especially in the finale. Of course, the movie, before Arnold was cast, there were people like Lance Henriksen, who got a big part of the film, but he was approached. They were thinking of having him, at least James Cameron was. Also, O.J. Simpson, believe it or not. But then there was talks of Arnold Schwarzenegger being the Michael Biehn part. But Schwarzenegger goes, well, I want to play the bad guy. James Cameron's like, yeah, right, okay. Met with Arnold. Mine was changed. Got the part. And Arnold was great as the Terminator because he has this weird but imposing, scary, intimidating look. Hulking machine. Like there would be a machine underneath that body of his. And I miss that Terminator. Because now, anytime the Terminator, he's a good guy. He's always a good guy. Good guy in Terminator 2, cool. That was a different from the first film, made it unique. But then he's a good guy in T3. He's a good guy in Genesis. He's a good guy in Dark Fate. Again and again and again. It's like Arnold is too uneasy to ever attempt to have the Terminator. The only close was when he almost did it in Terminator 3 for that one scene. But I miss when the Terminator was an actual fucking Terminator. Granted, now there's other Terminators, but when Arnold's Terminator was an actual fucking Terminator, that's why he's called the Terminator, because he things. And now Arnold's Terminator doesn't really terminate things anymore. So once someone blew another robot. But I mean, the rest of the cast, you got Michael Biehn, who I'm a big fan of as an actor. Love him in Aliens. I love him in The Abyss. This movie, I thought he did a wonderful job as Kyle Reese. Sarah Connor, that character is wonderfully played by Linda Hamilton. I thought she had the right innocence and normal, everyday waitress who's thrust into this crazy situation. You have Lance Henriksen in the bit part. And Schwarzenegger himself. The score by Brad Fiedel, I felt really foreboding of a score. It's a very effective score and my favorite score of all the Terminator films because of how, I get like everything else, it feels like a horror movie. I like that it was that horror slasher film feel. Like when Arnold's Terminator is looking through the phone booth. He's in the phone booth looking through the phone book and searching all the Sarah Connors and just killing them all. The movie has great dialogue, speeches. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It can't feel pity or remorse or a feel. And actually will not stop ever until you are dead. Well, apparently that no remorse thing is bullshit. No pity is bullshit because in Dark Fate, he felt sorry for a fucking woman who got beaten up by her boyfriend and then became the sugar daddy. Fucking around with drapes or whatever the hell he was doing. That's where the people wonder why people have stopped going to Terminator films. When it's staring you in the face, you made the Terminator go from massacring an entire police station, not giving a fuck, killing cops left and right, killing women in the back with Sarah Connor's friend. I think it was in the back, but you, Sarah Connor, just shooting an innocent woman. Wasn't even the actual Sarah Connor. Fuck you, asshole. Things of that nature. To Terminator 2, he's shooting people in kneecaps. I get it though, it works for the story. Then talk to the hand in Terminator 3. Then being in front of a police lineup in Genesis. Well, bad boys, what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? And the Terminator is smiling. To this, he's a sugar daddy that taking care of a woman and her kid and has a job dealing something with drapes or whatever, wallpaper, whatever the fuck it was. And again, people wonder, well, Tim Miller, why did my movie bomb? Am I the only one that thinks this way? Did iTunes just drop sharply when I was away? You go from a hardcore action horror Terminator, a Terminator, to, like I just said, shooting kneecaps, okay, then talk to the hand, bad boys in a police lineup. You go from massacring a police to smiling in a police lineup. In Genesis, what are these people thinking? Someone please explain that to me. Please do. Please. I want to know. So you got, again, James Cameron's direction, handling the low budget very effectively, to an excellent score by Brad Fiedel, to very nice performances by Linda Hamilton and Michael Biehn. I liked their love story. I bought their love story. I thought they worked well together. Granted, there's a part of you that goes, wow, they having sex while they're being hunted by this indestructible killing machine. I think that was after they escaped the police station where all the cops died. And now they're having sex. So yeah, there's a part like, really? But I could work with it in this film. Yeah, if you think about it, it's like, oh, that's a bit weird, but I'll go with it because everything else is doing their jobs well enough. And like I said, when the Terminator takes the eyeball out and the stiff movements, that effect doesn't hold up too well. And then there's that, I forget the actual terminology for it, where you go, well, wait a minute. Kyle Reese is the father of John Connor, but Kyle Reese hasn't been born yet because he was born in the future. Or maybe he was born yet, but he's like a kid or whatever age he's in at the Sarah Connor's timeline. So when the first go around this timeline, how is John Connor a thing to help the revolution of the humans? The resistance. When again the father wasn't either born yet or whatever it is. There's a certain terminology I forget what it's called. Type of paradox. You either go with it or you don't. If the movie was poorly made on a technical level, at least for the time it was made, if it was bad acting, terrible characters, unlikable characters, forcing PC agendas, all that crap, then I would be more harsh on that aspect. Here it's like, okay, I'll deal with it, as I guess a lot of people have. But all the elements, well, most of the elements worked well together, and Arnold was such a great presence as the villain. The few lines of dialogue, when he's all covered up in injuries, and you see the metallic coming through the face, and he's driving the truck, and he tells the guy, "Get out." Or, of course, his famous, "I'll be back," and then runs the car right into the fucking police station. And then the finale, how... Funny enough, they did this also in Aliens, where you had a woman lift up Michael Biehn and pretty much go, "On your feet, soldier, on your feet." I did. Both films have the woman holding Michael Biehn, who's hurt, and dragging him around. But both work. And lo and behold, it's a movie about a woman, but she's a good character. Not just an ideology or a PC message. She's a good character. Who just happens to be a woman. She's a good character. That's what we want. Good character. Sarah Connor is just an ordinary, normal, everyday, blue-collar lady. Just thrust into this. She's scared, but at the same time, she's going to try to defend herself. She does at the end by facing off the Terminator. "You Terminator fucker!" Squishes the piece of shit. Sad that Michael Biehn's character died, but self-sacrifice. Technically, all you needed was one movie, although I do like Terminator 2, so I'm fine with Terminator 2. So I would say you only need 2 movies, then they fucked up with all the other sequels. Although Salvation, I can watch for what it is. The other sequels, not so much. Especially Genesis and Dark Fate. It's just so... It's so... puke-inducing. To the point you puke in Daly. If you watch Dark Fate and then watch this movie. And you just see how far it's fucking gone down in the fucking dumpster with the trash juice filling up your gullets and your lungs with this horse shit of Terminator nowadays. Terminators don't terminate anymore. They did jobs and would sell drapes or whatever. Oh, would you establish this mythology of John Connor? Or you could say fuck it and then replace it for the exact same thing, making everything fucking pointless. Just don't get it. So the Terminator, like I said, absolute classic. You know what? They don't keep making these Terminator films no matter how many times they bomb. Here's an idea. How about you stop ripping off Terminator 2 and you start ripping off the first film? How about that? Tone-wise. That's what all the other sequels do. They rip off Terminator 2. Its tone. How about you try being a horror film again, like the first movie? Try being a dark, moody's not the right word, but gritty, foreboding. Cyberpunk is not the right word, but it's just again that hardcore horror feel. How about you try that again? I bet you open a couple people's eyes. And you don't have to do it with a big budget. The first Terminator wasn't. Frankly, don't make any more Terminator films. If they ever do, which I'm sure they will, make it a horror film. A semi-middle, whatever budget horror film. Give that a shot. See how that goes. Just saying. Might be surprised. Either way, thanks for watching. Thanks once again to Chase Conley for the pledge on my Patreon. I really do appreciate that. Why do you keep repeating it? Because they deserve it. If they're willing to do that, yeah, I'm willing to repeat it. Anyway, thank you. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.